All right, welcome back to Burt's Basics. My name's Peter Burt. I teach at Box Elder High School. Oh no, our bee got cut in half. Can we have a moment of silence for the bee, please? Okay, that's good. All right, so right now we're beginning the heart. So if you guys haven't watched the videos, the blood flow videos are by far the most important thing. There's part 1, part 2, part 3. Please watch all the blood flows. Now we're just doing some basics. So today, what we're focusing on is we're focusing on these guys. We're focusing on the functions of the heart. Whoops, there we go. Oh, my pen is white. So here's what you guys got to do. So today we got to talk about basic functions, what the heart actually does, and the layers, which we'll do that in a second. So if I ask you what the heart does, almost everyone in class would say the following: it pumps blood from one place to another. That's the only function it has. Well, you guys got to remember how much stuff's in blood. Everything's in blood. So when we talk about the cardiovascular system, especially its functions, oh dear goodness, it has so many functions, it is unbelievable. So let's talk about each one in succession just to make sure that we are comfortable doing that. Sorry, I got to get this guy. There we go. So here's our functions. Pumps blood, okay, I will give you that as number 1. Most important thing is every cell needs oxygen to survive. Okay, if we don't have oxygen, it leads to diseases like stroke, okay, and it leads to like MI, myocardial infarctions, different problems that we need. We desperately need oxygen and nutrients. That's a must. So it is a transporter. Carbon dioxide is a killer for humans. We have to get rid of carbon dioxide, so it's good it can do that as well. These are the ones I think a lot of people kind of overlook though. Thermal regulation, okay, it is a great creator of heat, okay. It helps us get heat to our toes, to our fingers. It keeps our bodies hot. Therm is heat, so it's a heat regulator. It's kind of a big deal. Immunological, okay, this is where all the white blood cells float around and they help fight infections, so we help with our immune system exponentially. That's a big one. Clotting factors. Remember we talked about hemostasis in blood? You should have already learned that. Hemostasis has 3 things. So if I have a blood vessel, and it gets cut, you're bleeding, right? The first thing I'm going to do is what? There's 3 steps to hemostasis. First thing is these muscles on the outside of the blood vessel are going to start to contract, okay, and they're going to do what we call vascular spasms. Vascular spasms will help seal it and reduce blood pressure, reduce blood loss. Okay, number 2, all of a sudden the platelets, which are formed elements, which is a fancy word for saying a part of a cell, right? These platelets are going to adhere, and they're going to do a lot of cool stuff to form what we call our platelet plug, okay? But the platelet plug's weak. Here's where blood comes in. Do you remember that there was also things floating around in here that weren't really cells? These guys were called clotting factors, okay? The blood is the helper of clotting. It brings all the clotting factors, and that's where I get coagulation, okay? Coagulation is the last one. Can I add another one, which I think is actually important, I can't believe this is not on here, is hormones. Hormones travel via the bloodstream, and hormones have long-lasting responses in our body. So when we talk about functions of the cardiovascular, it's quite a bit. Okay, let's go to our next part. Our next part now we need to talk about is layers of the heart, okay? Now, this diagram is going to look scary, but don't let it be scary. You know all this, most of this already, okay? If we take the heart, so let's come up here. So what we're doing, okay, oh, this is going to be white on white. I wonder if I could change my pin color. Hold on one second. There we go. I couldn't do white on white. That just wasn't going to be working for me. So now let's go ahead and see. That's a lot better. Okay, so let's talk about your heart, okay? Now, when we talk about your heart or almost any other organ, it's so cool how this also works. So this works for the uterus. It works for almost anywhere on the planet. You got to divide the word in half. I know that's not med-term, but this is med-term. If you notice, these all end in the word cardium. Cardi. So right away, you guys got to know that cardia is your heart. So whenever you hear cardiac, okay, that's pertaining to the heart. Okay, there's a lot. Med-term, there's the ending matters, but cardi is heart, cardi is heart, cardi is heart, cardi is heart. So if we look, we are looking right here at my right ventricle. Okay, there's my left ventricle right there, left atrium, labeling our heart. Okay, we're zooming in on this wall. Let's go ahead and start deep and then go to superficial. Remember, superficial is on the outside. Deep is, well, deep. So let's talk about this side. So what should we call this lining that's on the inside of the heart, where all the blood's going to be coming and putting pressure on, caressing that surface? Let's see, it's on the inside, so let's call it endocardium. Endo's on the inside, okay? I wish they called the outside exocardium, but they don't. But endo is on the inside. So I got my endocardium is my most deep layer. Then I get my gigantic layer of muscles, okay? And if you remember, when we did muscle, we did actin, which was action. Okay, we did actin, which was super skinny. And then we did myosin, which was super chunky. You should recognize the word myo. Myo is the medical word for muscle. So this is my muscle heart. So let's call it the myocardium. Okay, that's my muscle heart, myocardium. This is where all my muscles are, and this is where all my cells are. So these cells need oxygen too. If these cells don't get oxygen and begin to die, that's what we call a heart attack, okay, or myocardial infarction, okay. So that was a big deal. So we got my endocardium on the inside, myocardium in the muscle layer. Now let's talk about the outside. To talk about the outside, we have to go back to something I taught you, I don't know, 6 months ago. Do you remember how we talked about every organ to help try to reduce friction has some kind of serous membrane to help kind of protect it? But then we talked about how there's one layer close to the heart or to the organ and one layer far away, okay? The one farthest away we always call the parietal. But you understand parietal gives you nothing. You need the second word to tell me what organ it is. The one closest to we call the visceral. And together, these guys make up what we call the serous membrane. Remember, if you miss this, I was going to be like, are you serious right now? Are you serious? Why did we not use synovial? Do you guys remember what synovial was? Synovial is the fluid around joints. That's a capsule around highly movable joints. Okay, so these are my serous. Now, the reason why this is important is because if you look at the heart, there's a visceral coating and there's a parietal coating, but it is the same serous membrane. And then in the middle, I have serous fluid. Okay, this would be serous fluid, right? But these get names, and this is why kids really struggle. Together, okay, they call it the pericardial. I like the word peri. Peri's my favorite 80s song, okay? Peri is, you spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record player, round, 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 okay? Peri means around. So let's look at this. What's pericardial? Around the heart. That doesn't sound too bad. Now let's make it more difficult. So now if I can go ahead and clean this up a little bit, let's erase this so I can get all my drawings out of the way. Okay, let's look. This is my pericardium. You have the layer closest to the heart. Remember what we call the closest layer to the heart? Let's throw it down here. This is the closest layer to the heart. We call it the visceral. The visceral has its own name, and his name is the epicardium. Epicardium. And I love the word epicardium. Epicardium is on top of. So that's literally on top of the heart. So that's my epicardium right there. Okay, epicardium touches the heart, aka epi is your visceral lining. Okay, and then my outside lining, okay, the outer, thicker, stronger lining, okay, that's your parietal lining, and we call that the pericardium. So is there a difference between pericardium and epicardium? Yes, there is, but really they're both the serous membrane of the heart. Okay, you better believe, guys, on the diagram, I'm going to label this A, B, probably C, probably D, or I might just put these guys together as C, and we'll just call it the pericardium. I'm going to make you label the heart, and the only problem you're going to have is sometimes I go from superficial to deep, sometimes I go this way, and sometimes I go this way. And sometimes I just say, what's B? So you guys got to know your 3 layers of the heart super well, okay? So, all right, guys, that's it. So let's go ahead and do a quick quiz question. It says, list the layers of heart from deep to superficial. Okay, here comes the answers. So if you don't want to see them, push pause so you can do a quick check. And thanks for watching Burt's Basics, and I'll see you on the flip side.